Too black, which is too strong.
You so black.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Brother Black, on here with another hot video. I want to address something that I have come to grips with, and just kind of snuck up on me, kind of like on the blind side when the quarterback gets sacked. He just doesn't see it coming, but it creeped up in my mentals, and I noticed something, and I had to deal with it head on. I realized that in me caring about people and people being my passion, I noticed that I can be a little loose emotionally. I realized that out of my love for people, what often happens is that you can get burnt emotionally by people by giving them too much of yourself, extending yourself too much emotionally, and you don't get that reciprocated in return. Or you get people to do an about face on you emotionally and mentally, and you don't see it coming. I was like, you know what? This is like being an emotional freak body. We should say freak body back in the day. Say, they say if you anybody that easy to get or sleep with anybody, you easy, you a freak. Oh man, anybody can hit that young, anybody can get her. She a freak. You know what I'm saying? At least that that's the double standard that what happens when it becomes between men and women. Men be loose, yeah, they cool, but women do it, you a freak. But hey, I didn't make up a double standard. It just is what it is. But however, I kind of realized that is an issue, because what happens is you become more emotionally invested than the individual you're dealing with. And when you do that, you're expecting the same that you're giving out, you're expecting that same thing in return. But guess what? It doesn't happen like that. What ends up happening is you try to be their friend, you do this and you do that, and then all of a sudden, like, stuff don't work out like you wanted to, and then you're trying to figure out what's going on, and that person doesn't have the same level of giving of oneself emotionally as you do. Now, this can be with men and women. You can find a woman that you you're emotionally invested, and you going the extended mile. Now, one prerequisite for this is that you have to be somewhat you have to be an outgoing person. With me, it's considered a blessing or a curse, because you give of yourself emotionally. And my good friend told me, he said, man, you got to stop extending yourself emotionally to people until you find out what they really about. And I'm like, gosh darn it, my man's correct. Because one thing I try to do, I don't try to live on an island of self-denial because what happens is when you're in denial, you stop all facets of personal growth. You cannot grow. And that's why when you talk to people and you dealing with them, what happens is you'll find out that they are talking the same language, talking the same stuff in 98, in 2008, in 2008, 2019. That person has not grown. So, and what's connected to that, what's associated with that is when you operating like that, you operate at a low frequency, a low vibration. And in my previous videos, I talk about not hanging with people that have a low vibration, a low energy. You don't want to be associated with people with that, because what they do is they drag you down and they usurp you of your vital people nutrients. That's what they do. They suck you dry. They suck all your stuff. How do they suck you dry? They suck you dry by always coming to you, talking about what they don't have, and complaining all the time about this or that, The glass is always half empty instead of half full. Everything's the opposite. A lot of people do this for attention. A lot of people do it. So you have to be careful. The whole point of this discussion is you have to be careful. Like the Bible says, do I cast my pearls among swine? You know, you can end up being dry and depleted and empty emotionally if you keep up this kind of behavior. So I just thank God I got people in my life that will not be yes men and yes women, that will tell me the unadulterated God's honest truth when it comes to dealing, with relationships, with me, especially with women, me being married multiple times and stuff not working out, and it's just, one thing after another. But I just thank God for the place that I am in now. I'm in a place of transition now. Trying to learn oneself and be better for me, and be a better person for myself, to live my best life. It's like everybody around me living their best life except me. And that's not good. I've been living on the other end far too long. It's time for me to experience, or what it seems to be everybody's experiencing when you see them on social media. They traveling, they doing this and they doing that. And I'm like, look, man, life is passing you by. You've been in the game. You ain't been sitting on the sidelines, but it's time to take your life to a next level, to elevate to the next level. So be mindful when you meet people, and they seem like they really cool and stuff like that. Man, don't go all the way in until you know about that person. That was my mistake in me being married, multiple times. Not giving myself the chance to understand, to see this person under different circumstances, see this person under different light. I just ran with the presentation that they gave me, because at that particular time, that's all it is a presentation. When you're presenting something, you're presenting something hoping to win something over, hoping to persuade or manipulate that person, depending on what venue you're in. If it's in a business setting, you're trying to win over that person's business. You're trying to persuade them. If it's a relationship, you're trying to persuade that person to sign a deal with you. So we just have to be very mindful, ladies and gentlemen, of who we expect. And this is for people who have great hearts, genuine hearts. I consider myself to be one of those type people. I don't try to act with malice. I don't operate with being a hater, a player hater. I don't try to operate in that space at all, because of how I was raised by my father. My father was a people's person. Certain things. It's true when they say you, for the most part, are products of your environment, for the most part. And I'm guilty of that. Carrying this mantle, it's a blessing to curse. But I just thank God that I'm getting more focused. I'm getting more sharp. I'm getting more clear, thanks to the people that are near and dear to my heart, my close friends and family, for shedding this light on me, so that I can see. Now the thing is, they can tell me that, but I gotta receive it. See, it's one thing when somebody say something, but a lot of people don't like to be in denial. They don't like for somebody to be the truth. They want to keep lying to themselves, and you wonder why that person seems like when you see them, they talking the same thing. Man, if I see you and you talking the same way, man, look, something wrong. Something is wrong. I'm not saying you got to read science magazines and you got to read 1,000. I'm not saying that, but somewhere along the line, you got to take the responsibility, and you got to elevate yourself. You got to learn something new. Like I say, you got to do stuff intentionally if you want to have a different result. A lot of people seem to think stuff happens accidentally. No, people who at a certain plateau, they have put the work in. They just make it look easy because while you was sleep or whatever, or you was doing your thing, they behind the scenes, kind of like an athlete. You know, when you see them on the field, in the court, they make it look easy, but you don't know what hours they put in behind the scenes. The muscle memory, the repetition, you know, to make, to hone their craft, to make that stuff look effortless. You got to do the same thing personally. You know, hone your craft. You know, work on your weaknesses to a certain extent. You know, strengthen your, you know, keep strengthening your, you know, stuff you do well, but work on your weaknesses and maintain what you already got. This is a Brother Black one. And remember, man, don't go around here being an emotional whore, giving yourself up, giving yourself away mentally to people who don't, at the end of the day, don't give a rat's behind about you. This Brother Black one, I'ma holler back.
Thanks again for tuning in with another broadcast of Brother Black One. Until next time, family, peace and love.